Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
And welcome once again to As the Reel Turns, your place for all things movie and television. And we have got, yes, another great show for you today. But before we go anywhere, let's do our entertainment update. Take it away.
Well, hello there. This is Zach White for your entertainment update. Today, we have a new film, an unfortunate death, and a new show update. Let's start with the show. Today I'm doing a little painting for my cousin, so I will be talking to you while I do that. Alright, so, now we've all seen this show, one of my favorites personally in terms of game shows. After nearly 40 years as Wheel of Fortune's host, Pat Sajak is moving out to greener pastures. Now, he took over for Chuck Woolery in 1981, hosting both day and night before sticking with the night show. He will be replaced by the ever wonderful Ryan Seacrest, the host for American Idol. Of course, Vanna White will still be continuing her work, thankfully enough, with the letterboard. Stick around on weeknights to catch Wheel of Fortune.
Twitter, quote, "Well, the time has come. I've decided that our 41st season, which begins in September, will be my last," he wrote. "It's been a wonderful ride, and I'll have more to say in the coming months. Many thanks to you all." The news of his retirement, many fans suggested White as his replacement, who has hosted the show in the past while Sajak was on medical leave. However, in a profile for Esquire, White insisted she was not hoping to take his place.
Now, dark days never last, so keep your chin up. And remember, the great Alan Arkin, whose career spanning the original Pink Panther series, playing Bill Boggs in Edward Scissorhands, and Carol's father Bud in the Santa Claus 3 with Tim Allen. He was 89, but I hope I could be that old one day. Lastly, DC fans, you're going to get excited for this one. Probably already know the new Flash film's coming out, but it will also be partnered with the Blue Beetle, Cobra Shola Mariduena, I hope I got that right, will don the Scarab, joined by Susan Sarandon and none other than George Lopez himself. One of my favorite comedians. Now, Blue Beetle is out everywhere August 18th.
You're the Blue Beetle. I could use that arsenal right about now!
God, you never ask.
Hell yeah! They've been trying to stop the way, but the way don't stop!
Now this has been Zach White with your entertainment update. Now back to our happy little host, Dan.
And thank you, Zach, for doing that entertainment update. Hey, I didn't expect him to Bob Ross this up, or excuse me, Carl Nargle this thing up, but let me tell you, that was fantastic. I loved it. Great stories in there. You know, hey, we're going to miss Pat Sajak and Wheel, but thank God Van is staying. Alan Arkin, he was great in a lot of those roles. I want to mention that he only played Inspector Clouseau once, and that was in the movie of the character's name, not in the entire Pink Panther series. And then, yeah, Blue Beetle, hey, you know, Flash has a lot of cameos in it. Who knows? DC might be getting a comeback. You never know. But happy little host, thanks a lot, Zach. Love you too. Anyway, thank you very much for doing that. We have got another great show for you. Last time we talked about the great adventurer himself, Indiana Jones. But there's been a lot of other series in that vein of adventures and treasure hunting. And today we're going to talk about them in a thing I like to call Indiana Jones and the Inspiring Adventurers. Yes, I had to put Indiana Jones in there because that sounds like an Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones and the Inspirations of Adventure. I mean, come on, that works. So you can't really top Indiana Jones. He's the king of this type of genre. But as you saw there are plenty of other ones that we are going to talk about today. And we got another great guy to talk about it with. We've got a good friend of mine, fellow filmmaker, Dylan Tavishian. Dylan, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Daniel. It's been a hot minute. Again,
I know.
But it's good to be back on the show. Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, welcome back. Welcome back. So
Let's go on an adventure.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready. Yeah, and you were on the original As the Real Turns radio show. So, yeah, you're an alum of this show. So let's get right into it. So in the vein of Indiana Jones, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark came out in 1981. Huge success. Spielberg and Lucas are on the top of the world. And obviously someone out there said, well, we can do this too. And so one of the earliest ones we're going to talk about, coming off the heels of Raiders of the Lost Ark, came out the same year as Temple of Doom. And that was Romancing the Stone. So, Romancing the Stone was done by Spielberg's buddy, Robert Zemeckis, and it basically it's an adventure story about an author, sort of, and she goes off on this adventure, and she's brought on this adventure by Michael Douglas, and the author here is played by Kathleen Turner. And as you can see, we also have Danny DeVito in this movie, too, who I keep forgetting is in this movie. So, you know, it's not exactly the same vein. It's not the same story as Indiana Jones. It's not a big treasure hunting thing, but there is a treasure involved and there's adventure involved. So, Dylan, tell us about Romancing the Stone. First of all, have you seen this, and do you think it works as coming off the heels of Raiders?
Well, it's been a hot minute since I've seen this movie. I think I last saw it when I was like 10. But, you know, Indiana Jones, like, you know, a lot of movies in the 70s, 80s spawn, like, the blockbuster era. Yep. So, you know, Star Wars, like, wait a minute, Star Wars works, let's make Star Trek movies. I know you're a big fan of those.
That is me, yes.
You have Indiana Jones, wait, adventure movie, let's jump on the adventure bandwagon. So I think this does work, just, you know, and it's Zemeckis, so he's right there with Spielberg. So I think it definitely works. It's I'm not calling it a ripoff. It's just, you know what? If Indiana Jones works, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring, pun intended.
I like that. Yes, and you know there's
Fedora. Excuse me.
Fedora. Yeah, exactly. There is a plot for Jewel at the end of it, and that also comes into play with. There was a sequel to this called Jewel the Nile.
I've heard of that.
So
I've not seen it.
Yeah, that's the sequel to it. So I mean, obviously it works, but what do we think of also the cast? You know, you have Michael Douglas, son of Kirk Douglas, famous Hollywood actor,
and plenty of adventure movies for him too.
That's true. Yes. And then you have Kathleen Turner, who's been in a bunch of things. But for me, one of her biggest roles was the uncredited Jessica Rabbit. That's just me. And then, Danny DeVito. I mean, I guess we have kooky side characters like, we do have in Indiana Jones, but what do we think?
Well, that's it. Like, it's Indiana Jones started that formula, and if the formula worked, and it did work...
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it again.
Sure.
You got a good pair of walking shoes?
They're all like these.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's make some time. What's your name?
I'm Joe Wilder.
Joan Wilder! Welcome to Columbia.
Oh.
Okay, Joan Wilder, write us out of this one.
John Wilder? John Wilder? The John Wilder? You are John Wilder, the novelist?
Yes, I am.
I read your books. I read all your books. Come in. Esta es Juanita Wilder, la que escribe las novelas que le leo los sábados. Juanita. Le damos la bienvenida, ¿verdad, muchachos?
Juanita, Juanita.
Come in.
Adiós, amiga.
I can't believe you're here.
And, Indy himself is based off of the old 30s serials that you would see back in the day, so that's why it was set during that time. But, I'm in the same boat as you. It's been a real long time since I've seen this movie. But, I think I may have to see it again because it does still look fun. I mean, we saw a lot of fun adventure stuff that you would see in any type of movie like that in that trailer. So, Romancing the Stone, it is a different type of adventure movie. But, hey, you know what? If you're an indie fan, this might be the, inspiration for you. We'll say that.
I am dead, Miss Wilder. All that will be written for Omar is an epitaph. But I will not be alone. Who is going to save you now?
Yeah.
You like adventure movies? How about this movie?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. So, check out Romancing the Stone. Like I said, same year of Temple of Doom, so maybe there was some competition going on, maybe. But adventure wasn't over yet, because I believe it was the year after, 1985, where we get a movie called The Goonies. So The Goonies, yes. Dylan is a fan of The Goonies here. So, okay, funny story. Haven't seen this all the way through for myself. Now, I know that might be a sin for some people. But hear me out here. Here's the idea of this movie. These 4 kids find a treasure map in a basement. An attic, I'm sorry. And the treasure map leads them to a treasure in the end. And they have to go through all these dangerous traps and find the treasure in the end. And let me tell you this. First of all, big names to be in this movie. We have the kids played by Sean Astin, Corey Feldman, Ke Huy Quan, who already did an adventure film the year before, James Brolin, and the names go on and on and on. And also behind the scenes, we also have Spielberg, so he's producing this, and Richard Donner, who, for me, famous for making Christopher Reeve Superman. So, now, this was during a time, Dylan, where, a lot of these types of movies were made, with kids going on adventures and stuff like that. And, this was also the time where the teens were having the thing, the Brat Pack and stuff like that. What do we think of the Goonies? Since you are a big fan of this, tell us about the Goonies as we see the trailer.
It's great. I mean, if it works for adults, let's throw kids in there. And also, Stephen King, he did Stand By Me.
Stephen King, yeah.
Stand By Me, hunting for treasure instead of a dead body. And it's this movie that started Stranger Things trend, the 80s. If you want like an 80s adventure besides Indiana Jones, like think of this.
Because this is modern time for them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I haven't gone ahead and sat down and watched it, but I don't know, it does seem entertaining, and I think it would work as a movie. But my question is, what is the treasure at the end, though? I mean, I'm okay with a spoiler. What is the treasure at the end?
It's pirate treasure.
It's pirate treasure. Okay.
One-Eyed Willie.
Yes, I do remember the One-Eyed Willie thing.
Oh, and sorry for you though, Robert Davies in it. Sanchez.
Oh, Robert Davi, yes. Yes, I
He's-
do remember seeing that in credit listings.
Jake Fratelli.
Yes.
The opera singing criminal, one of the criminal brothers.
Yeah. And for those of you who don't know, like Dylan said, Robert Davi playing Sanchez in License to Kill. Great role for him.
There were some big names in this movie.
There were.
Soon to be big names, at least.
And behind the scenes, too.
Behind the scenes. So, I told you, it's 80s adventure. Look at, again, the inspiration for, like, Stranger Things. And, heck, even, like, more 80s nostalgia. That's it right there.
Yeah.
I found a map. Hey, look. That says 1632. Is that a year or something?
No, it's your top score on pole position.
Yes, it's a year, Chuck. Look, it's a map of our coastline.
What's all that Spanish junk right there?
Who knows? Mouth, you said you could translate. Translate, right here. Yeah, translate it.
Ye intruders beware. Crushing death and grief. Soaked with blood of the trespassing thief.
You guys, this map is old news. Everybody and their grandfather went looking for that when our parents were our age. I mean, haven't you ever heard of that guy? What's his name? The pirate guy. One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie. Yeah, he was the most famous pirate in his time. My dad told me all about him once.
Dad'll do anything to get you to go to sleep.
No. See, One-Eyed Willie stole treasure once. It was full of rubies and emeralds and diamonds. But what if? You guys, just what if this map could lead to One-Eyed Willie's rich stuff? Maybe. Then we wouldn't have to leave the Goondocks. Come on,
Hey, Mike,
I don't want to go on any more of your crazy Goonie adventures. Guys, come on, where are you going? You don't want to do this? $16.32.
I mean, I do know that one of like the famous characters in this movie was kind of like a deformed monster character. Sloth. Okay. Was he part of the group, or is he like the villain of some sort? Or?
No, became part of the group.
Okay, he became part of the group.
You want a candy bar?
You do now.
Oh, look, I got a Baby Ruth. Sir?
Let it stand. Pardons. And now, the final crowning touch to this cake. Take about a spoon of cocoa.
I'm gonna throw it to you, okay?
Put it in a very small sieve. You shake your sieve.
I'm sorry, sir. Jeez, mister. You're even hungrier than I am.
Law.
Chunk.
Law.
And yeah, no, I know he like wears like a Superman shirt, which is kind of cool too. And also, speaking of Robert Davi's other roles there, like we said, I do know that Ke-Huy Quan's character, if you don't know, again, that's Short Round from Temple of Doom. he plays like a James Bond fanatic.
Data.
And that's like a Star Trek reference, not even 2 years before Next Gen. So that's...
Hey, Data, don't mess this one up. And prepare for the wings of flight. Oh! Screen door! Mikey, the screen door! Hey, I bet you guys thought I was gonna drop it, huh?
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got all the gadgets. My favorite's when his dad opens the little pack and the camera comes out.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's great, Dad.
Just watch this.
I could see like Roger Moore using that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's got the pinches of peril, the teeth that grab on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Anything.
He's gone. Oh no. He's really Don't be dead. Pictures of Pal. You guys, I'll be saved by my pictures of Pal.
And you know that it's really kind of cool because I think Spielberg formed like a bond with him, and that's why he cast him in Goonies, sort of. So, why are they called the Goonies though?
That's just their group name, the Goonies.
Okay.
And now Ke Huy Quan's an Oscar winner, so.
And yeah, he's on top of the world. Which, Kay, if you're listening, why weren't you in Dial of Destiny, man? You were right there. You and Harrison have reunited. Come on. But that's just me.
You call him Dr. Jones!
Adventure movies and with kids, Temple of Doom with Short Round, but then even more kids with the Goonies. I know I have to check it out, so I think you should too. And you already got 2 Indiana Jones people in there, so I mean, come on, let's keep the trend going. So yeah, absolutely, check out the Goonies. It looks like fun. Now let's go to the 21st century. Now there have been. Now I want to quickly say, we're not covering every single adventure inspiration ever made. We're ticking off a lot of them. It's like when we do an actor spotlight. But one other thing is not only movies and TV have been doing this type of thing, but video games have. And there was a very successful video game series called Lara Croft Tomb Raider. And Lara Croft Tomb Raider was basically where a central character named Lara Croft would go off and investigate ruins and temples and tombs, and because she's a tomb raider. Then again, that was the main plot of it, but also the other reason is that because 12-year-old boys loved buying those video games because they found the digitally Lara Croft attractive. But that's regardless. It proved to be popular because there were a lot of versions of it, and you can still play it now if you go to an arcade or buy video games, something like that. It proved popular enough, though, to get a movie. And the movie came out in 2001 called Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Okay, so Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I was a latecomer to this because I knew that it was a video game. I knew it was a heavily sexualized character too. But I thought, it's a little in there with Indiana Jones. I'll give it a try. So, and you have Indiana Jones's first company, Paramount, producing it. So it's got to mean something. So here's the story. Lara Croft is kind of on a quest to find this thing that matches up with the planets, but also has to do with the Illuminati type of thing. And she goes all over the globe trying to find the thing. And we have Angelina Jolie. There she is, playing Lara Croft. Not a bad cast choice, I want to say real quick. And we also have some other famous names. Her father is played by her real-life father, John Voight, who had his own adventuring movies that we'll get to. And she's going up against a villain. Oh boy. She's going up against a villain who is a Southerner, being played by number 6 James Bond, Daniel Craig. So, it's a fun movie, though. I found it really enjoyable. I found it more like a cross between Bond and Indiana Jones because there's a lot of gadgetry and mechanics involved. And hey, I don't want to mess with Lara Croft. She seems like she can handle herself. So, Dylan, have you seen Lara Croft, and what are your thoughts on just the idea of the character?
Well, I understand why a lot of boys are attracted to her.
It's Angelina Jolie.
Yep. I know the video games are very popular. As a kid, I remember playing them at like my friend's house.
There you go, yeah.
Some things. Wow. I'm old. But
aren't we all?
But I mean, I've seen a little bit of the movies. The effects don't really hold up now though.
Yeah, no, some of the CGI in this one particular is
early 2000s.
2001.
2001. It's definitely the end of the 90s, early 21st century cheese.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Star Wars, let me say
no.
that.
No. But I think it's still a fun adventure romp. I mean, you know, it's something new. We haven't seen the Illuminati necessarily in a big adventure film.
And it's female-led.
Which is fun. This is not the first time I've seen Daniel Craig play an American, but hey, he's given it his best. This is pre-Bond, so
he's a villain.
He's a villain.
Yeah.
Hello, Alex.
I suppose you think I'm a greedy, unscrupulous sellout and do just about anything for money.
Yes, that's right.
Well, the money bit's true, I guess.
Is it, Alex? If you cross me, we may not be able to remain friends. Always a pleasure.
Now for a cold shower.
There's a lot of like she does a little bit more of like I said, a technical side. She has like a Q sidekick sort of, and she does a lot of swing around, as you saw in the trailer there. She does a great bungee jump scene, which is fun. Lot of acrobatics, and do you think that is kind of they were kind of trying to deviate from the adventure Indiana Jones saga, or do you think they were just trying to be a different version?
I don't think they were trying to deviate at all. Remember, the adventure movies, like spy movies we talked about, are its own genre. It's a genre itself. So any adventure is going to take inspiration from Indiana Jones. Any spy movie is going to take inspiration from Bond, if you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So, I think they just wanted to make a fun blockbuster.
Very interesting. It's a shame you only brought photographs. Nevertheless, it is fascinating. You said it started ticking the night of the alignment.
Yes. You said you were a lawyer?
Yes.
And the study of clocks is a hobby?
This is an obsession. Really my speciality. My practice centers around antiquities. But the origin of this clock completely eludes me.
Comment?
Yeah, I recommend them, though, because they are fun, and they're enjoyable. And like I said, good casting, with Angelina Jolie, Jon Voight, and Daniel Craig. I mean, that's three big names, which is pretty good. And yeah, no, it is different. Again, the CGI, like you said, is a little iffy sometimes, but hey, they did try their best, and something must have worked, because we did get a sequel a few years later called Lara Croft Tomb Raider: The Cradle of Life. Now, what is the Cradle of Life? You know what? Honestly, I'm still forgetting myself. As the normal trend goes, this sequel wasn't the best in the world, but hey, they really did try, because they did get Angelina Jolie back, and they have a new villain, and they have a new treasure and stuff like that. Now, Dylan, do you really think that Lara Croft should have stayed by herself, just Lara Croft Tomb Raider, or do you think that it needs a sequel? I mean, again, this is a video game series that it's based off of.
Money.
Money. It always comes back to money, doesn't it?
Video game movies are hard to adapt.
That is true. That was my next question.
It can be done, but, I mean, because you play a video game, you can't play in a movie.
True.
You're not the one controlling the actors.
Yeah, no, I mean, and here again, you see some more examples of, like, her Bond elements, you know, like a lot of gadgets involved here. She always goes in guns blazing, but I don't know. I think it's still not a bad movie, and there's a lot of good stunts in it, but I don't know, maybe you should just stick to the first one? I don't know.
I have not seen this movie.
Yeah.
Nor have I seen the third, so...
Well, the third one actually was a reboot. That didn't have Angelina Jolie or anything like that, and I think they tried to get away from these two movies because they're just like using a bow and arrow now and stuff like that, but hey, you know what? If you are a fan of Angelina Jolie or Lara Croft, there's still a lot of good scenes in here, a lot of good fun, a lot of good camp. There is some camp in there.
Plenty of fan service.
Plenty of fan service, yep. So I would go ahead and check out Lara Croft Tomb Raider Cradle of Life, and the first one as well, because that is a fun one as well. But yeah, I think you should try it out because there are some good scenes in there, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun, I would say.
Rice is going to use the orb to find Pandora's box.
Do you mean the Greek myth? Pandora is given a box by God, told not to open it, she does, and unleashes pain into the world.
That's the Sunday school version, yes.
Video game movies can go up and down sometimes, but another movie that was clearly coming off the heels of Indiana Jones, treasure hunting all the way, was Disney. Disney came into play and they said, hey, we can do this too. Thus we got National Treasure. So yes, the ever popular National Treasure, one of my all-time favorite movies. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know what you're doing watching this show right now. Go watch this movie. If you don't know what it is, it basically shows the idea of Nicolas Cage playing a guy named Benjamin Franklin Gates, who gets his buddies together and they go off to find the Knights Templar. And the idea of this movie is that all the clues going to this treasure are hidden, connected, or are American icons. And, you know, we have, like you saw in the beginning there of this trailer, you have the dollar bill, you have
I refuse to believe that.
going off to Washington, going off to Philadelphia, and the ever
Boston,
popular Boston, yeah, Boston, sorry, New England, sorry, and the ever popular thing of there's a treasure map on the back of the Declaration of Independence. Why would we make because there is.
Where's your proof?
Why do I love this movie? Because the jokes are great, the action is great, the actors are great, and the story and music are great. Disney really struck gold in this movie, I think, no pun intended. Dylan, what do we think of National Treasure?
Well, I'm a huge history buff, so I love National Treasure. I know it can get a little cheesy, a little, you know, kind of ridiculous, but I don't know, it does make you think, could there be a treasure map on the back of, like, the Declaration of Independence? I've been to D.C., and I've seen the Declaration, I've seen the Constitution.
Same here.
And I'm like, now, I gotta find the treasure. So, I love it. You know, Revolutionary War, what is the government hiding from us? What don't we know?
Sure.
And I have connections, because I have a few family members who were Freemasons.
Oh,
so you know that comes into play. The Freemasons want to hide treasure from the British.
Absolutely.
So, I love it. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage!
Is Nicolas Cage, John Voight.
John Voight, yep, John Voight. Sean Bean.
Who doesn't die.
Who doesn't die in this. Yes, that's a good point. their happy little sappy movies anymore. They were trying to do action. This is a year after the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out, so they're going into a little bit of a deeper territory, which is fun. But yeah, no, there are so many good scenes in this. From all the declaration scenes that they do.
I'm gonna steal it.
What?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
See?
We need more juice.
I need more heat.
The scenes in Philadelphia are great.
That way.
If you're not a steak, you don't belong here.
Go around, go around.
Kids!
Yeah, scenes in Boston. I think they go to New York too. There's so many to count.
Yeah, no, and again, I've been to all these places, like the Freedom Trail.
Yep.
That, and I'm like, okay, where are those glasses that Ben Franklin has, so I can read the treasure? I want to go find it. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go right now.
It makes it fun.
It does.
Like, you can make up your own conspiracy.
Yeah.
Theories and like your own story about it.
Oh yeah.
And again, we don't know, so there could be a treasure.
There could be, yeah. But no, I actually, I have a connection with this movie too, because it's growing up in New Jersey, we were right across the bridge from Philadelphia. So, going to all these spots, the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, and stuff like that, it's really fun to, be in the footsteps of them. And I can remember my mom telling me she and our cousin were in Philadelphia and they were filming on the exteriors of Independence Hall, and they said, "Oh look, there goes Nicolas Cage's head right there." And it's like, come on, there he is, right there. It is Nicolas Cage. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, and I love Nicolas Cage's Ben Gates.
Because obviously you have a tendency to overreact! I am sorry. I couldn't resist.
John Voight is wonderful. Riley and Abigail, the two other side characters.
Riley's my favorite.
I love Riley.
It's a big, bluish green man with a strange-looking goatee. I'm guessing that's significant.
But yeah, no, it was really, really fun. And so if you haven't seen it, please go see it. It is good, it is enjoyable, and it is fun. And it also did something right, because a couple of years later, we got a sequel, National Treasure, Book of Secrets. Okay, so this kind of, for me, breaks the mold. Like we said for Cradle of Life and Lara Croft, sequels can sometimes not be the best things, but I like this sequel. It's a good one. All the characters come back and they are off to find a new treasure. This time it's the City of Gold, Cibola. And along with that plot, we have Ben Gates and his family trying to prove their innocence because they are told that one of their ancestors was connected with a plot to kill Abraham Lincoln in his famous assassination. It kind of goes a little bit wonky at places, trying to connect the dots in places, but we do eventually find the City of Gold, and there also is another subplot, I know, so many subplots, with the fact of there is a secret book that only the president can see. And they end up stealing the book, and they find the treasure, and so on and so forth. Dylan, what do we think of National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets?
Well, I'm definitely with you. It does kind of you know, get a little hard to follow at places because we have, oh, we're trying to clear the family name, oh, it leads to the City of Gold, but then the president's book comes in. Like, I think they could have trimmed some of the fat, but I do like it.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those movies that does make you think, and it's fun to like, oh my God, does the president have a secret book? Like, where does President Biden have it right now? Where did President Trump have it? Where did Obama, Bush?
Yeah.
Where ex-president, him or her, where are they going to store it?
That's so true. Yeah, no, it's absolutely right. And you know, I don't know. I would like to think there is a secret book, but oh, I love that scene. I am so sorry. I love that scene. I really think there are a few more Indiana Jones connections because, you know, we have a big like trap place, and you know, they had that in the first one, but there's a huge like obstacle and traps and water and so, and we've seen that in Indiana Jones.
They even have the little gold idol.
The little gold idol. It's a little golden man. With all those trap scenes, those are fun. I love that. We also have Helen Mirren playing Nick Cage's mother, which is fun.
Good.
Oh.
You see? One syllable. A knife in the heart.
Oh, no.
She can do that.
Yes, and I can also track the whereabouts of my toothbrush. Find the noble bird, let him take you by the hand, and give you passage to the sacred temple. Oh, you think this is a treasure map for Cibola, don't you?
Good casting.
Great casting. I also want to mention Harvey Keitel playing the FBI lead, who is wonderful.
Sadusky.
I love Sadusky. And Bruce Greenwood as the president.
Perfect casting again. And Ed Harris, Mitch.
Ed Harris, Mitch, yep.
Great villains.
Sir?
The following conversation never happened. The book exists.
Where is it?
Well, where else to keep a book? In the Library of Congress. XY234786.
Thank you, sir.
You'll also need to know 3794.
Got it.
And Gates.
Sir?
200 people know you held me against my will. I can't tell them why. Unless you find what you're looking for, you'll be charged with kidnapping the president.
I will say, when this movie came out, I remember when it came out too, there were documentaries on like the History Channel, Discovery, about the potential Book of Secrets.
Yeah.
My favorite one was a theory that the Lincoln Memorial was made of gold and it was painted white. And if the national debt, this is just what was in the documentary, and if the national debt ever got above 400 trillion, it would be melted down and sold off.
Cue the X-Files theme. Yeah, no, I understand that. It's like, you know, what could be in that book, but I love where the book is hidden in the movie. And I do like how they do go to other countries in this one, so it's not exclusively America. They go to London, they go to with Buckingham Palace, which is great. I love the scene.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello. Been drinking, have we?
Just a nip.
They go to Paris, which is another fun scene with the Statue of Liberty there. And they even go like to Mount Rushmore. That's where the City of Gold is hidden, which is great. I love all those scenes there.
I think we're going there. Gotta find that City of Gold.
Let's do it. I'm ready. So yeah, if you haven't seen National Treasure, like I said, see both of them. The sequel's good. The original is very good. But if you want more National Treasure, Disney Plus did a short series called National Treasure: Edge of History. And I saw it. It was very good. It wasn't the same as National Treasure the movies, but it's not bad. Riley does make a cameo in an episode, which is fun. And they do find another treasure. So give it a watch. It's not bad. It's not bad. You know, they do a lot of fun connections. So check it out.
And I'd say with these movies, yeah, they can be ridiculous, but suspend your belief, have some fun, you know, play around with the U.S. history.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
yeah. Speaking of TV shows like Edge of History there, TV wanted to get into this game of adventure inspirations. And one of my all-time favorites, definitely, is the Librarian series. And the first one came out in 2004 called The Librarian: Quest for the Spear. Okay, now go with me here. Take the lead doctor from ER, Noah Wiley, SNL alum Jane Curtin, and stuttering funny man Bob Newhart. Throw them in an adventure treasure hunting film and let all go wild. Are you on board yet? I hope you are. Because that is what this movie is. You have Noah Wiley, Bob Newhart, and Jane Curtin coming into this movie about a secret library below the Metropolitan Library that houses all the treasures of the world. You know, these include all your regular ones that you would think, but also includes the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. Wait a minute, something isn't quite right here. And I say comedic because, you know, these movies are completely, well, not completely, but a little bit of satire on the adventure saga, because Noah Wiley's Flynn Carson is a funny man. He's like a grown-up child who's just in love with history. That's all he wants. He wants to learn. And he's thrown into this hidden library and says, okay, go find this stolen Spear of Destiny, which is the spear that pierces Christ on the cross. So, you know, he has to fight evil villains, stuff like that, and finds a girl and stuff, and so it goes on and on and on. I remember I showed you these movies because you at one point had never seen them, and you said, oh yeah, I'll watch them. What do we think? Do you think that it's a little bit of a satire, or do you think it's maybe its own thing?
It's definitely a satire. It's definitely very self-aware. It's really cheesy, and I can definitely tell it's a made-for-TV movie.
It's a TV movie for sure,
but, I mean, again, just fun. I remember seeing trailers for this on, like, the Sci-Fi Channel or something.
Yeah, it was a TNT movie. All three of these were TNT movies. But, yeah, no, it is a lot of fun, and the characters are great. Like I said, Flynn Carson is a wonderful character. He's really, really fun. He's like a man-child.
You like to learn.
Yes.
And you're in your 30s and you're still in school.
Exactly.
And you live with your mother and you're okay with that.
Yes. No.
It's like he doesn't even want to be there.
That's true, yeah.
In a way.
In a way.
I just want to be a librarian.
Yeah.
I don't want to go on an adventure.
And he can't tell anybody about this. He just says, yeah, I'm a librarian, that's all. But Bob Newhart, again, coming in clutch with a great character in the form of Judson. And then Jane Curtin playing this no-nonsense secretary-type character. She's great. I love her. And like I said, yeah, the fight scenes are great, the adventuring.
You keep your grubby hands to yourself.
Anyone else want a piece of me?
For me, I would say it's the weakest out of a trilogy of movies. Yeah, it's a trilogy. Because, you know, they were still trying to find their footing, and like you said, it's a made-for-TV movie, so it's like, yeah, sometimes it's a little rough, but it's still a lot of fun, and, you know, you're thrown into the adventure right away. You know, he gets the job, boom, find the spear. So that's kind of fun. And there's a huge climax in the end, so that's a lot of fun, too.
I've always liked those religious artifacts. I think I even saw in the trailer, was that the Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah, the Ark is there, and then they give you a metal Holy Grail, which, again, you know, Indiana Jones got that more right with a wooden one, but, you know, you have to ask the question, like, wait a minute, aren't those not supposed to be there? Isn't the Grail supposed to be like 6 feet under, and the Ark is in some warehouse? Wait a minute.
Yeah, no. But, like, again, just a silly little adventure movie.
It is.
Put it on in the background or turn your brain off for a couple hours.
And you say silly little adventure movie, but it was successful enough to get the librarian returned to King Solomon's mines.
Isn't this Jonathan Frakes, too?
This is Jonathan Frakes, yes. Yeah, this is where director Jonathan Frakes comes in. Of course, everybody knows him as Will Riker from Next Gen of Star Trek. But this time, Flynn is sent off to King Solomon's mines to find King Solomon's treasure. and he's not fighting an evil cult this time or anything. He's kind of just going off to find it, but then he gets roped in with this other new girl, and then a new villain, and hilarity and action ensue. This one is also a little weird because there is a treasure, but it's also like mystical powers with the Book of Solomon and stuff like that, and it has a little bit more of an Indiana Jones vibe because we have the horse scene here in the beginning, we have some water scenes and traps and stuff like that. Yeah, you're laughing at this, so am I. What do we think of having a sequel to this? I mean, and the plot itself.
I remember watching this with you. Of all the three, I think this is my least favorite.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, same as the first movie. Yeah. Adventure, very cheesy, very self-aware. The effects are not the best.
Well, again, TV movie.
Yeah, I know.
Cut it a break.
But silly little adventure movie.
But Frakes.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, when I went to Boston Fan Expo, and Frakes was there, and I said to him, I'm a big fan of Librarian. He just lit up. He was so happy, because I think he was so happy to hear someone not say Star Trek.
Did you say Thunderbirds, too?
I did not say Thunderbirds, no. But I was with my friend Vince, who we've had on the show, and he talked about Fact or Fiction.
Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up.
And he just lit up. So that was really cool. So thanks, Mr. Frakes. That was really nice of you to light up like that. But no, yeah, Librarian 2 has, again, some great scenes in Africa. We have like an African sidekick here, which is fun.
Are you all right?
I've been better.
Who did this to you?
I was caught stealing crops from land to land.
What, they just left you out here to die?
I am no more. I would have done the same.
There's a lot of Freemason talk in this, because the Freemasons are kind of supposed to be the guardians of King Solomon.
The Order of the Cryptic Masons. You are one of us.
And yeah, the final climax, it is a little much, because you have like some raiders ghosts going on, and some evil spirits, and lava. It's a little much, but I don't know. I think it's still a fun romp.
Take Indiana Jones and that formula, and then squish it into TV. That's what you get.
That's what you get, pretty much.
And take out a couple million.
Yeah.
I don't think these are bad.
No. And there's some funny, yet if you're a religious person, specifically a Catholic, you might feel offended at some of the jokes towards some of the treasures. I'll show you why, but it's still funny. It's not as offensive as you think.
You're using the Shroud of Turin. Leo, I told you to put the shroud away.
But no, it's a good movie. It's a nice continuation of the characters that we grew to know from the first one, and I really do think it's getting better. And Frakes has a cameo in this. There's a scene in Africa where he just leans in and then leans out. That's all he does. So yeah, check out Librarian 2. And then, of course, something good must have happened as well, because we got Librarian 3, The Curse of the Judas Chalice. Okay, now, this might be the one that everybody knows when it comes to Librarian. The first two, people don't know too much about, even though the second one had Frakes with it. But the third one is where people start to know. And I say that because of one word and one word only: vampires. Oh boy, Crystal Skull. We know where that goes. Anyway, vampires, yes. So Librarian 3, Curse of the Judas Chalice, is about how Flynn Carson now goes to New Orleans, and he is on vacation, but finds out that it's really kind of like a ruse to find another treasure, that being the Judas Chalice, which is supposed to be a chalice melted from the 30 pieces of silver given to Judas to portray Christ. Got that out, that's weird. And the chalice is, get this, supposed to raise dead vampires because Judas himself hung himself after betraying Christ and was cursed to walk the world, i.e. being the first vampire. Okay, sure, let's go for it.
I read the Bible. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember that. Yeah, I think he did kill himself, but it's like we also have like they're not Russian, but they're
mob.
Yeah, they're from a different country around that area of Asia. And we also have Stana Katic, Stana, playing Simone in this. And if you know her from Castle. That was her big show. And we also have, I can never remember his name, but I will make sure to put it in a Did You Know, playing Vlad Dracul. Yes, he's playing Dracula. There he is. Bruce Davison. That's his name. I came up with it. All right. Dylan, be honest with me here. What do we think of The Librarian 3? Yeah, vampire.
I do remember this one.
Yep.
I remember seeing the trailer. I remember the line, Judas Chalice.
Yeah.
My God.
Judas Chalice.
Yeah, exactly. I love vampires. So.
No.
But I even made a vampire short film.
No.
So,
get out of here.
So this is my favorite of them. I think they just decide, hey, let's just crank everything up to 11. Let's have vampires, mobsters. Let's have religion, Judas. Let's just
Romania. I think they're from Romania.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's just have some fun.
Yeah, no.
Dracula, bring in Dracula.
Sure, let's bring in Dracula.
Surprised
sure.
they didn't bring in Elizabeth Bathory.
No,
or
I
the
mean,
actual Dracula.
Yeah, I think I watched these in reverse order because this was my first one, and I thought, it was a fun romp. I like it, and this is actually some of my favorite music in the whole Librarian franchise. All three of them done by Joseph LaDuca, but he just brings the New Orleans sound to it, which is great. I love that, and. Tell me this, could the Judas Chalice movie be a holodeck program? Because Jonathan Frakes comes into, this keeps falling, Jonathan Frakes keeps coming in to direct this movie, but there's a love scene between Simone and Flynn, and they're walking around New Orleans having a great time at night, and they pass by a person who's playing a trombone, and that's Frakes. You see him for a split second. But if you're a Star Trek fan, you know that Riker plays trombone. Coincidence? I think not. But regardless, Stana Katic, again, does a wonderful job playing a vampire-type character. She's wonderful.
You had no pulse. You were dead.
Bien sûr, I was already dead.
What do you mean? What do you mean dead? Like undead? Like a vampire?
Afraid so.
You didn't.
I don't kill for food. See? Blood.
Oh, God. And how old are you?
Americans. To ask a lady such a question. I'm 403 years old.
400?
Me?
And 3?
Yes.
Well, I've dated older women before, but...
We also have another great character in the form of Leon, I think his name is Leon, who's a cab driver in New Orleans. He has cousins all over the place, which is funny.
A lot of conflicting opinions. Maybe she was buried
Mr. Professor Museum Man, you want to see Marie Laveau's tomb? I take it. My cousin collects them.
Sure. Here's your piece of silver, Judas.
And yeah, Bruce Davison coming in as Dracula does a good job. I like it. Again, I read the Bible. I don't think there's any vampires in the Bible, but like you said, they cranked it up to 11, and I think it's a good one.
It's very enjoyable.
It is enjoyable.
Little spoiler alert, I love the end where it's the Tree of Life, but you see all the other creatures and artifacts. You see the Loch Ness Monster.
Yep.
You have the Tree of Life. You see
Noah's Ark.
Noah's Ark. So, oh my God.
It's great. Yeah, the library itself, like the bottom half, is kind of like a TARDIS. It's just bigger on the inside and just keeps growing and growing. But yeah, and you know, we have some great scenes again with Newhart and Curtin. It's just a fun romp of a movie. But yeah, this was a trilogy of movies, and later on they did make a series called just The Librarians, where Flynn kind of like hires some extra librarians, and they go off not to find necessarily religious objects like the movies, but more magical objects. Like magic has escaped into the world again, and they have to fight off literary creatures, find, you know, a common object that has been turned into a mystical object, so on and so forth. And, you know, we did have some pretty big names in there. We had Rebecca Romaine, John Larroquette, Christian Kane, who I believe was in Leverage, and then a few other names as well who have showed up in Hallmark movies like Lindy Booth and John Harlan Kim.
But almost like Men in Black, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
Or, X-Files.
Yeah, but Flynn does make a cameo every so often. He makes a lot of appearances, actually. And John Larroquette kind of takes over Bob Newhart's role as this mystical creature, possibly.
More Star Trek for you.
Yeah, more Star Trek. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of good guest stars in it. So yeah, if you like Librarians, first of all, check out the movies. Start with those, and then watch the series. It's only 4 seasons long, so it's not that long. And yeah, if you like treasure hunting and stuff like that, this is a series for you. This whole franchise is for you. You've enjoyed it. At least the movies.
I've seen the movies.
Yeah.
I have not seen the series. I know about them. TNT.
Yeah, TNT. It was all TNT.
I haven't seen it. But
yeah, I think you should check it out.
I mean, I like Men in Black and series like that where they have to go face magic or monsters that are entering the world. It sounds like Supernatural.
A little bit, yeah, I can see that, yeah. But yeah, Librarian, it is a great series, and I think everyone should check that out, yeah, for sure. But let's go back to movies, like actual big screen movies here. Now, we saw how successful actually Lara Croft was. Not only did we have the 2 Angelina Jolie movies, but we also had that reboot that you mentioned. The reboot wasn't the best, and then so I would prefer the Angelina Jolie ones, and I think a lot of people maybe do. But we saw how a video game treasure hunting movie could work. So the only logical step was to have another big treasure hunting video game become a movie. And boy, did they pull out all the stops in this one, because we got Uncharted. All right, so Uncharted, yes. So I went into this movie saying I don't know what to expect. I didn't play the games. I don't know what this is. But I said I know who Tom Holland is. I know who Mark Wahlberg is. So and it's a treasure hunting movie. Let's do it. Okay, so how do I say this? Boy, is this over the top, because here's the story. So Tom Holland plays a guy named Nathan Drake who goes off, who's kind of teamed up with Mark Wahlberg here, who plays a guy named Sully, and they go off to find these ancient golden treasure, I believe, who belongs to Magellan, I believe. And what happens is they just connect the clues, go on the quest, meet other characters, and fight off an evil villain as well. When I say they weren't over the top, some of the stunts in this made me laugh because I said, come on, they can't do that. We have like Tom Holland swinging from fluorescent light bulbs here.
Well, he's Spider-Man, come on.
He is Spider-Man, that's true. There is some outrageous water scenes and trap scenes. This whole ending climax with 2 flying boats. I don't know what this movie is, but it was so much fun. And don't even get me started on this scene right here where he is dangling from crates in the middle of the air. Oh, well, okay. Dylan, where do I start with this movie? Where do you start with this movie?
I have seen parts of it. Don't remember it too much. I do know the video games. Haven't played them though, but
I love this guy, the Scottish guy. He's my favorite.
I'm just gonna say it's another one of those blockbuster adventures. It is, from what I've seen, I liked it, but
the car.
Marky Mark and Spider-Man.
Yeah, Marky Mark and Spider-Man. What more can you ask for? This is a fun movie. Like I said, there is a little bit of James Bond elements because, you know, Tom Holland plays this bartender at first. You know, Nathan Drake is kind of like just has a job as a bartender.
It actually is Tom Holland bartending it.
The Negroni. First made in 1919 for Count Camillo Negroni when he swapped the soda water in his usual drink, the Americano, for gin.
And yeah, he gets conned in sort of to work with Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg. But no, there's some great scenes where they go all over the world. They end up Holland and the other character, the other woman who I'm blanking on her name, but they end up in like a nightclub and they have to solve the key to get out because there's a compartment filling with water. It's crazy.
Hey! Oh shit! Nate! This is not a time for shots. Let's go!
Like you saw there, the crate scene with he's just dangling there, and then a car comes at him, and then of course the ending scene where they lift the two boats. They find the treasure from Magellan ships, and they lift the ships into the air, and they have this crazy fight scene, and it's hilarious.
Hey, Joe.
Follow that ship!
Hey, Sully! I think your girlfriend wants her boat back! Yeah, I'm aware. Trying to get the boat up! Go! Let's see what this...
It's take the adventure formula, every adventure cliche, and like the librarian, go up to 11.
Yeah, I mean,
Why not?
we come a long way from like Romancing the Stone and Goonies to this.
This is more over the top.
Yeah, it's
Indiana
way-
Jones, despite, you know, the artifacts and kind of, I guess you could say, cheesiness, that's more serious.
Yeah, and like I said before, you know, there's a scene there where she's swinging from fluorescent light bulbs, and that's actually an auction where they're trying to get a piece of the puzzle to this treasure from Antonio Banderas. So yeah, Antonio Banderas is in this movie.
Zorro.
Zorro, woo!
Just one big crossover of all the action heroes.
Let's do it, yeah. But yeah, and then his Scottish henchman there, whatever you want to call him. Oh my God, he's hilarious. I love it.
Shouldn't you come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
So if you haven't seen Uncharted, please go see Uncharted. It is actually really, really fun. You know, again with Lara Croft, you may not be a video game person, but you might be an adventure person. So go check them out. And if you know, the post-credit scene to Uncharted kind of led the fact that we might get a sequel, but I'm hearing that Tom Holland has taken a break from acting, and Marky Mark is just not interested. I don't know, but I hope that's not true, because I would really love to see a sequel to Uncharted. It really deserves it. You can't leave us hanging like that. But for now, go see the first one. If you like over-the-top adventure, this is the one for you. So we have one more to talk about, and this one is, you know, we were just saying, you know, we've come a long way from like Romancing the Stone and stuff like that. But what if we actually like bounced back to Romancing the Stone? Enter the Lost City. Okay, so Lost City. I saw this movie being advertised, and I said to myself, you know, now wait a minute. This kind of has a Romancing the Stone vibe to it. And the reason is because we have another writer writing a novel who gets roped into an adventure. And that writer is Sandra Bullock, and she writes romance novels. And we find out that possibly what she's writing about is true, and she gets roped into this adventure by some villains, and she's teamed up with her cover model here, played by Channing Tatum. And who is the villain they're going up against? Well, it's none other than Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. So I say this is an inspiration because there is a treasure at the end, and there's a whole bunch of adventure that goes on. You know, we have jungles, we have stuff like that, and poor Sandra Bullock, she has to do the whole adventure in this sequence onesie type thing. You said to me, Dylan, that you weren't too familiar with Lost City. What are your quick thoughts on from what the plot of it sounds like and from what you're seeing from the trailer?
Oh, I've seen the trailer so many times, and I remember all the ads. It looks hilarious. I do want to see it at some point, but, you know, willing adventurer and Channing Tatum, literally not a real action hero because he's been in so many action movies. Here, he can't do anything.
No, he cannot, yeah.
He's just a model.
Yeah, that's all he is. And you saw he was like a Fabio type of model with that fake hair and stuff like that.
And Daniel Radcliffe as the bad guy, I know he's played out of character before, but like I'd like to see that. Oh, and it has to be the British villain. Come on.
Of course, of course. You know, he's trying so hard to get away from Harry Potter. Oh yeah, I forgot Brad Pitt is in this. Brad Pitt, yeah.
The real action hero.
The real action hero, yeah. And he kind of plays just like this random jungle guy, sort of. He's kind of like an ex-military type of guy. But yeah, no, I went into this, again, kind of like Uncharted. I went into it kind of going blind, like, this looks funny, and it's an adventure movie. I really kind of like this.
It does look good. I will watch it at some point. Again, another silly adventure movie, but this time, though, they kind of went all out.
Yeah.
Let's parody. It's almost like a parody.
It almost is like a parody, you're right. But because, you know, the chemistry between Tatum and Bullock is so much fun. You know, they go at each other all the time.
Is that a nail filer?
Yeah.
Can you just rip it?
It's working.
And maybe next time I toss a gun at you, you can catch it instead of ducking.
How about the next time you toss a gun and you say, "Hey, Alan, catch!" And then, you know, maybe do that before you throw it.
Well, here is a synonym for catch.
No, here is not a synonym for catch.
Okay, in a colloquial kind of way, yes,
no,
it is. You say, "Here, I toss you a sweatshirt." You say, "Here, I toss you a pen."
How about just, "Hey, catch, gun!" Anything that you want to throw, and I'll catch it because you've said catch, and I'll catch it because you said it. That is also an option, and then we would have a gun with us. That's the thing. Be careful.
Okay, we need to call. We need to call for help, get to the airport, and get out of here. And I am driving.
Okay.
Bullock kind of doesn't like Tatum because he takes all the credit because he's the cover model. But they have some great moments together. I will say there's a scene with some leeches, as you got a preview in the trailer there, that it's a little much, actually.
It's always the leeches. And of course the snakes at the beginning.
Yeah. That
parody.
That's quite a parody, for sure. But yeah, no, it is a really fun movie. I really liked a lot of the comedy. And yeah, like you said, Radcliffe doing another good job as a villain, because I think this is the second time coming after the heels of Now You See Me 2.
This is not one of your cheap, vapid lady fantasy books, Loretta. This is real life. And we will kill him. Tell us where the tomb is.
So yeah, Lost City. I recommend that to you, and I recommend that to everybody else because it is a fun. I agree. It's kind of like a parody, which is really, really cool. So like I said, there have been dozens and dozens of other treasure hunting, adventure type of films. I've been saying I recommend them. Do you think these all should count in the line of coming off the heels of Indiana Jones, and these are things people should watch?
Definitely. Again, adventure is its own genre.
Mm-hmm.
Like James Bond didn't create, but like is part of the spy genre.
Yep.
Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi, or the space opera. Sure. So yeah, if you're looking for an adventure movie, if you love like history and you just want to, you know, turn your brain off for a few hours,
sure,
go watch them.
Sure.
I love like National Treasure. I like The Librarian. I love Indiana Jones, Goonies. So definitely.
Yeah, check them all out. But if you like things coming right off the heels of Indiana Jones, and I mean right off the heels, I said this when we covered him. I write my own series of adventure stories called the Danny Wilcox Adventures. about the great-grandson of Indiana Jones. Now, I want to quickly say that, for those of you who have seen Dial of Destiny, the concept of the great-grandson of Indiana Jones might not make sense right now, but not to worry. I'm going to remedy that in a future book. You watch. Let's end the show with our favorite game. Who are you? So Dylan, like I said in the beginning of the show, you are an alum. You know how this works. I'm going to play a clip. You have to tell me who it is and or what it's from. There's a point in it where it should make it obvious, so let's roll that clip.
He got sloppy. Crazy. He started to lose it. He had a head full of bad wiring, I guess. Couldn't keep it straight up here. He was the kind of guy who couldn't hear the train till it was 2 feet from him. You know what happened to this guy, Jack? Well, made mistakes. And then he had us.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts! Come on! Let's get nuts.
All right, so that is your clip. I have it on good authority that our Magic and Tech team know exactly who that is. And I told you that, especially the last bit there, the "let's get nuts" is an obvious clue, because this guy actually recently resaid this and reprised this role. So give us your best guess of who that is, Dylan.
I have no idea.
Well, you said one a little earlier on.
I said Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Okay, that's not.
I'm thinking of The Flash, but
Just thinking of The Flash. Okay, that's not
know.
a bad guess. I really still want to see that movie, actually, because I'm all there for Michael Keaton. But Michael Keaton, that's not a bad guess. You want to just take a random guess of a movie? You want to stick with the superheroes, or?
I don't know.
All right. Well, since you're sticking with the superheroes, let's stick with Batman. Okay. Let's go with Michael Keaton. Let's see if that is Michael Keaton.
He got sloppy.
It's Michael Keaton! Yes, it is! Crazy. Yes! He was doing his famous monologue from the first Batman movie where he says, "Come on, let's get nuts!" That's the obvious clue right there. He's talking to Joker. Great scene. And I am so excited for him to be reprising the role as Batman in The Flash. I am only going to see that movie because of him. I'm not a huge fan. I don't think anybody's a huge fan of Ezra Miller, but I'm there for Michael Keaton and the long list, apparently, of other cameos that are going to be in that. So let's do it. So you did say Michael Keaton, so I'm going to give you at least 5,000 points just for saying that. So
thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
I got it right for once.
You got it right.
Unintentionally, yeah.
Unintentionally, okay. But hey, I do want to thank you at least for coming on the show.
Thanks, Daniel. I know it's been a hot minute, so.
Yeah. Welcome back.
Again.
Let's do it again. Like I said, check out all of the fun adventure films. You are still making some stuff. Anything you want to plug right now?
No, just tune into my podcast, Camp Shivers. It's on Spotify. I talk about horror movies and true crime, monsters. So it'll be great.
Yeah, and you still have your companies. What are your companies?
Yep. Got my Lemonade Media and I got my Room 310.
There you go.
Plugging along. We've got some films hopefully coming out very soon, but all that's in the planning stage. Just got done producing a movie about Greek goddesses called The Gathering. So everything's in the works.
There you go.
Yes, please tune into the podcast.
I like it.
Some lore coming out very soon too. So
I like it. Very, very cool stuff. Well, hey, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you to our Magic and Tech team. I think you got that right. I'm not even going to look there. And thank you all for watching. My name is Daniel Saletti. This has been As the Reel Turns, and that is a wrap.